everybody. Well, let's get to it. We're going to get to the lesson. You know, we have taped all of this stuff that we talked about earlier, a blessing. The Most High is great and great to be praised, and we have made it thus far.
Hallelujah.
Anybody, before we keep going, anybody have anything, any last thing to say? Nothing? Okay, well, let me open up the mic to the screen. I'm getting ready to open up the PowerPoint presentation. I thank you all for joining us this afternoon. Looking forward to what the Most High is getting ready to do next. Like I said, the whole world is watching. The whole world is waiting to see if anything happens at all, so they can say, aha, we told y'all this wasn't the captivity. Even the Israelites is waiting. So they can say, aha, we told you guys it was Egypt. You know, but we expect something to change. The Most High said that He was going to deliver us, and we are expecting a deliverance.
Absolutely.
You know, nobody has said anything against it, but you know, the support has been minimum. But the people that know the significance of it, we will be there.
I believe that this is the time. I believe with all my heart and soul, you understand, that this is the time period. Well, I mean, at no other time in the history of this world, you understand, has there been a 400-year captivity from date to date.
Not when we've been afflicted. Not afflicted for 400 years either.
That is correct.
You know, people say, well, Egypt, we was 400 years in Egypt. Yeah, we was. We was 430 years in Egypt, but we weren't afflicted for 400 years. When we walked into Egypt, we were the guests of Joseph.
Absolutely.
Hafanathanaeum, or whatever they named his name is, Hafanathanaeum. We was his guests.
Okay.
Hallelujah.
You know, all praises to the Most High. Yeah.
And also, we can't forget that it says on land our own, and Goshen is within the river of Egypt and the Euphrates.
Absolutely. You know, we've been in a lot of captivities, a whole lot of them, 13 of them, matter of fact, you understand? And if you read in Kings, it say 7 years, 8 years, 16 years, none of them talk about 400 years, period.
No.
Now, one other thing here, too, is that the Almighty made it explicit. He said 400 years. He didn't say 1,500 years, like the Arabs have done such things to us, and we've been under their thumb for 1,500 years. For 1,500 years, they drug us from the northern region all across that Sahara Desert. You understand? You know, in the millions, matter of fact. You understand? But what the Almighty was explicitly said, 400 years. He didn't say anything about anything else. So it lets me know that this captivity was about Judah.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't about the southern tribes. He wasn't talking about the southern tribes. Now Judah was scattered from that region where they got us from to the four corners of the earth. So he's gonna come get us from the four corners of the earth. And but when he mentioned 400 years, we was going to be explicitly in a captivity from day one. We was going to be casting up until the 400th day. 400th year. You understand? So there's got to be that captivity. I don't see no other thing. You understand? Because after that, he said he's going to judge these people. Now, you understand? Any other time in history, if we've been in there 400 years, there's no judgment for them folks that hold us captive has come about.
That's true. That's true.
Okay.
That is one way to look at it. You know, that is true. That's true. All right, well, here we go. Let's get into the subject and the teaching. Shalom, shalom, everyone. Thank you for joining us on the Sabbath day. This is our School of Knowledge. We appreciate you all spending your Sabbath with us. We hope that you enjoy the lesson that we're getting ready to bring forth. We did make sure that all of the previous lessons have been on YouTube, and I hope that they have been a blessing to you. I'm going to open up the screen. I just want to make sure that you all have access to it and that you can see it. Let me share my screen with you in a moment. Can you see the screen right now where it says next section?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Praise the mighty Yah. All right. This is what we're going to do. This is the topic. We're still dealing with the third person of the Godhead. But before we do that, we definitely want to go into some information because we have a lot of new people on the line. All praises to the Most High Yah. I hear a lot of background noise. If you have background noise, please mute your phone because we are taping this. We've been recording since you guys came on the line, and we want this to go just as smoothly as the other lessons have gone without a lot of background interference. We give praise to the Most High, and we thank Him for all, that He has done. And, we appreciate everyone helping us to make this possible and to presenting a very professional image on YouTube. We thank you for that. That's very, very important so that when the people click on it, they can actually learn and listen instead of a lot of background noise. I know we get a little excited sometime in our message, and this is probably one of those messages that you will end up getting excited about. But I'm going to ask you, to be courteous and try to refrain yourself, from yelling over each other, But this is an open forum, and we do enjoy the feedback, so it's very important. A lot of you have already experienced this message. Some of you have, and some of you haven't. But as we bring new people on and we journey toward this kingdom that we're talking about with the third person of the Godhead, we have to make sure that everybody, as much as we can, is on the same page. So we talked about last week about how it was important for Yehudah to go first, and how he was predestined and he was being prepped to be able to rule the children of Israel and to have leadership and to be able to be that tribe that stood out front, that went first. And so what we're saying to you all, is that as we move forward with this, it's going to get a little different. We're getting ready to go into some very murky waters. And when I say murky waters, a lot of us have come from the church. And a lot of the things that we have taught on this class you have never heard. And we just ask you to chew it up very, very carefully. We don't want you to choke. But we can't continue to be on milk because it's time for us to move to the next level. And as we end this curse with the Most High, and I'm not talking about changing location, because this what's going to happen in 10 days means that the word that the Most High spoke to Abraham 5,000 years ago in Genesis chapter 15 is coming to an end. That the curse that He put our people under, us under, for 400 years of affliction is about to be over. Does that mean that they're going to be nicer? Absolutely not. Because when the children of Israel were in Egypt and Moshe came to them and said, I met a God, He said to tell you that He's coming to get you. It seemed like the work got harder. They made them make brick without straw. But the children of Israel didn't understand what was going on, that, they had to present a level of endurance. They had to be able to withstand whatever was coming, because any time that Yah says He's coming, the devil hears Him. So if he can turn up the heat, He's going to turn up the heat. And I see a whole lot of Hebrew Israelite groups just dancing and the jigabooing and a partying and doing this and that and the other. And I just wonder, are they ready when the heat get turned up? I just wonder, because when you watch it, one thing that history always does is repeat itself. And that's when He told us to get prepared for Jacob's trouble. And I heard a lot of people on here say, we've been through enough, and we have. Most definitely that we have. But the enemy is still the enemy, and hatred is still the same. And they hated us when we don't have nothing. Can you imagine what it's going to be like when He start blessing? They ain't just going to be like, oh, that's good. We're so happy. So just be prepared, you know what I'm saying? Because you're going to be a blessed people in a very hostile environment until we leave. Now, I'm not saying that they can do anything to us, because they can only do things to us that the Most High allows. But at the same time, just be prepared for what you're going to endure, because it could be evil looks. You know how people do when they're jealous of you, and that's even some of our own brothers and sisters. Some of them same family members is going to stand by and look and say, well, why she get all that? She ain't never been to school. I've been to school. I got a doctorate degree in the school. Well, where did you get it? How did you manage to? Where did you get all that from? But one thing for sure and two for certain, you just got to trust God. And you know what? And once you begin to live it, you understand what it means. This means a lot. This means a lot. This is the change of a lot. You know, he said he's going to restore our wealth. He said he's going to restore our health. He's going to restore certain characteristics in the daughters of Zion. He's going to restore a lot of things. As he does it, I don't know whether he's going to do it overnight or it's going to be a gradual process. I don't know. I can't answer that question. But the end of this is the beginning of something that we have never experienced before. And we have to be able to, spiritually, because I'm going to tell you something, it took a spiritual thing for a small group of people to hold a whole nation captive all over the world. That was something spiritual that nobody ever revolted and just said, okay, that's it. Curse, I'm leaving. You ain't going to treat me like this. They were able to hold us captive all over the world. That took Yah. And the same spiritual authority that was over us then is the same spiritual authority that's going to release it. It's going to be a powerful day. Powerful day. And I'm just telling you, brace yourself. Now, don't come back in a week and say, Yaina, you said. Because I did say it, but I don't know when. Yaina, the word said, and it does say it. But he didn't say when. But we're expecting something to change. And not so much around with our surroundings or our people, but in the mindset of our people. We're expecting a change. And we have to be the example to live it so that they say, well, what's different about you? Why is it that you, why is it that it never, I don't understand. And you can tell them it's when you keep his laws, his statutes, and his commandments is when the Most High begins to bless you. We got to be able to tell them that. Because we got a whole church that's telling them they don't have to keep the law. We got a whole church that's letting them know it's not necessary. The law is done away with. And we got to be able to come back and say that's not true. All right, so we're getting ready to go into this next phase. Like I said, this is going to get very heated, very heated. Some of you have never heard this before. Some of you have. Those of you who have heard it before, we're definitely going to need your help in terms of helping the people to chew this up. If you're babies and you know, some of you are have been in the church your whole life and still been on milk because the things that we're teaching you've never heard. But we got to go here in order for you to understand, you know, who we are and to finish this process. All right, the next section. Preordained and predestined. Now, I was sitting here today thinking, and before I do any lessons, I always consult the Most High. And I was sitting here and I was asking the Most High, and I was thinking, like, what is it? You know, where do we go from here? Because I know where I'm going. I know where I'm ultimately going to end up, but I still have to be able to share some things with you as we make this journey. So the name of this lesson is Preordained and Predestined. Here we go. We're going to go to Isaiah chapter 46. And for you all who cannot see the screen, don't worry about it. Just get your Bibles. Everything is going to be biblical. We stand in the Bible. And we do this purposely so that when you go before your family and they say, what book you reading out of? You can point to that Bible that's sitting on that mantelpiece collecting dust. Isaiah chapter 46, verse 8. We're going to go through this very slowly. It says, remember this and show yourselves men. Bring it again to mind, O ye transgressors. Remember the former things of old, for I am Yah, and there is no other. I am Yah, and there is none like me. Declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times things not yet done. Saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will accomplish all my purpose. Calling a bird of prey from the east, and the man of my counsel from a far country. I have spoken it, I will bring it to pass. I have purposed it, and I will do it. Any questions at all whatsoever? Anybody have a comment? No comment? Now, I want y'all to talk back to me now. I want everybody getting quiet. We got them scared, brother.
We're listening right now.
The only comments I would say is that, Yah's word is truth.
Say again?
Yah's word is truth.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. His word is truth. Hallelujah. Praise the mighty God. And he's going to stand no matter what. He said, I've done it. I'm going to bring it to pass. And whatever I say is going to come to pass because I said so. I want to be able to bring this up again. And I want to put this up here because I want to read this one more time so we can get this here. It says, verse 11, 46 and Isaiah 46, chapter 11. Calling a bird of prey from the east, the man of my counsel from a far country. I have spoken, and I will bring it to pass. I have purposed, and I will do it. So that means that as of August the 20th, according to this scripture, what does that mean?
I mean, that's just going to be fulfilled.
It's fulfilled. It's a wrap.
Don't mean
he said Go ahead.
I was saying it don't mean that we're going anywhere, but it does mean that the judgment starts, because he did say in his word, after them 400 years, I will judge that nation. That's exactly what I...
Yes, sir. Oh, you spoke volumes right there. You said the judgment starts. That's power.
I agree with that.
Woo!
And not only that, Sister Yaina, what it says for me is that the Almighty we're going to be totally covered by the Almighty.
Yeah.
You understand? You understand? When our captivity began, he stepped away for a minute. Oh man, I'm not putting up with you guys. You know what I'm saying? Let them other folks get you out.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And for them 400 years, he's been a little sanctuary unto us, man. He spared us alive. You understand? At least a remnant of us. You understand? Everybody. Some people had to die. You understand? Because of their iniquities. Because what the Almighty said in the scriptures. You understand? If you keep these laws and do them, you shall live by them. But it does not say that in the captivity we could drop the laws. It does not say that at all.
No, it doesn't. And it's like he said the judgment starts. So that means the clock starts.
Okay.
The clock starts. And when we go through August the 20th at 12:01 a.m., the clock starts. Okay. And it's ironic because, and what's so ironic about this is because it was purpose that they signed into Bill H.R. 1242.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because they had to start the clock.
All right.
Woo! Woo! That's crucial. You had to start the clock. So we have come here. The Most High said, whatever I have spoken, he said, and I will bring it to pass. I have purposed, and I will do it. Not only does it mean that the judgment has started, but guess what else it means? It means that we as a nation can get ready for the transition. Get ready.
I'd like to say something else.
Yes, ma'am.
I know that it's for us because I have been watching day after day and checking day after day. There are really no celebrations. There's no commemoration to speak of. The only thing that's significant is that it was announced that it exists. And as you said, that was for us. If it was supposed to be some, big to do, we would have heard it. But, I mean, we're 10 days out. There is no amount of advertising, really, that you can do that I can think of that's going to just make this just an announcement that goes throughout the nation.
Mm-mm.
Well, what kind of celebrations can you get together in 10 days? It was specific for us.
Yes, it was. That's Yah. And that's powerful. That's Yah making sure that we know that we're on the right track. That was Yah doing. I grabbed a hold of it once we put it out there. But the fact was that he let us know we was on the right track. And who else can, my thing is, who else can put together a celebration but us? Because it'll never be what it's supposed to be because it has a totally different meaning. A totally different meaning. Mm-hmm. People that are asleep can't understand what it means to be woke. They can have a church service, and they can have a Black History service, and they can bring together some black people to say, hey, we've been here for 400 years, but the average person would look at them and say, so what?
They're still asleep.
That's right.
Okay, we've been here for 400 years, so what? What it meant? That was the power behind all of this. And there's a reason why I put this into play. Because there's something that I noticed with us as a people is that we were predestined to be the group that was going to go through this in the first place. And I covered this because as I started to really think about the whole journey of the children of Israel in the first place, I said, well, Yah spoke this thing 5,000 years ago. He spoke this thing 5,000 years ago. He spoke this thing to Abraham, to a people that didn't exist yet. Nobody existed. There was no 12 tribes of Israel. There wasn't even an Isaac at the time. That's right. None. So he spoke it out of time from eternity into time for a specific group of people that was going to be able to experience this. And guess what? We the people. We the people. We the people. So then that means, I'm getting ready to mess with you today. Y'all know I'm getting ready to go there. I'm just trying to take it slow. So that means that if we the people, then y'all knew that when he spoke it to Abraham. He knew that when he met Moshe on the top of Mount Sinai. He knew it. He knew what was going on. So let me get to that. I'm going to something I'd like to introduce to you. I want to introduce to you the book. And what do you say? What do you mean, Ian, when you say the book? There was a book that the Most High came here when he came to Mount Sinai that he brought with him. In this book, there were names. Names of the children of Israel. From when Yah came from the heavens, from the kingdom, to meet Moshe on Mount Sinai, he brought a book. And in this book, there were names in this book of the children of Israel. How many of you want to bet that your name was in the book?
Wow.
Whoa.
I pray.
That's powerful. That's powerful.
Yep, yep. You're scaring me, but keep going.
Yeah. He brought your name. Oh man, was written in the book. Yeah. And these are the names that will either survive or they won't survive. Watch. I'm talking about predestination and preordained. Watch. Here we go. Exodus chapter 32 as an example. This is when Moshe is up on the mountain and he's speaking with the Most High, and the children of Israel are at the bottom. They want to go back to the worship of Egypt because they have no understanding of what's going on the top of Mount Sinai. Moshe's up there, he's giving instructions. He's giving him the law. He said, this is the law. I want you to give these children the law, and this is what I want them to do. These are the do's and the don'ts. This is how I want the tabernacle done, and these are all the things that I want in place. Now, we have to understand what's going on the top of Mount Sinai. The Most High has come from the kingdom into the earth to be able to give an earthly people that he chose schematics and design and laws so that we would be able to mimic the kingdom. Everything that he gave him was a copy of what's already going on in the kingdom. So Moshe is up there, and the Most High is giving instructions. Well, the children of Israel, of course, our ancestors are at the bottom. And you know how we are when we get restless and somebody get hungry and somebody don't see the results that they think they need to see right away. They end up making choices that will end up being very costly to them. For an example, when the Most High told Abraham he was going to have a son, it took for Sarah to suggest that he lay with Hagar. Hagar was never supposed to be in the picture. Ishmael was never supposed to be done, but because of time and because of disbelief, Sarah said, I'm too old to get pregnant. I can't have no baby. I'm sure he meant for you to lay with one of the concubines and to be able to have a baby by her, and this is the son that she can have for me. And the Most High is looking, I'm sure, from the distance wherever he was and listening, saying, but that's not what I told you. That's not what I meant. I told you was going to have a baby, and you going to have a baby. Make a long story short, they made a mess. It's still a mess today because of the choice that she made, because she didn't trust in what the Most High told her to trust in. Well, imagine where we are now. We're at the bottom of Mount Sinai, and everybody's restless. All they had to do was just lay back and wait on Yah. They had everything they needed, but they decided to make a golden calf. And this is where we are. This is where this story begins. Exodus chapter 32, verse 23. It says, for they said unto me, this is Aaron talking to Moshe, make us gods, which shall go before us. For as for this Moshe, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we want not what has become of him. They said, we don't know where he been, where he is. He could be up on top of that mountain dead for all we know. Make us somebody we can worship, because at least we'll have some familiarity with the gods that we've been used to in Egypt. Watch what happens. And I said unto them, whatsoever has any gold, let them break it off. So they gave it me. Then I cast it into the fire, and there came out this calf. Now, you know that the calf didn't just pop up out the fire, don't you?
Yeah.
I ain't never seen no fire where you can toss gold into it and poof, a calf come out. Mm-hmm. So, Aaron didn't want to take responsibility, but he played a part. Watch. And when Moshe saw that the people were naked, for Aaron had made them naked unto their shame among their enemies. Then Moshe stood in the gate of the camp and said, who is on the Lord's side? Who's on Yah's side? Let him come unto me. He said, and all the sons of Levi gathered themselves together unto him. And he said unto them, thus saith the Most High Elohim of Israel, put every man his sword by his side. Go in and out from gate to gate throughout the camp and slay every man. Watch what he says. His brother, and every man his companion, and every man his neighbor. And the children of Levi did according to the word of Moshe, and there fell of the people that day about 3,000 men.
Wow.
Most High don't play. Don't play. Watch what happens. For Moses had said, consecrate yourselves today to the Most High, even every man upon his son and upon his brother, that he may bestow upon you a blessing this day. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moshe said to the people, ye have sinned a great sin. And now, watch what he says, I will go up unto the Most High, peradventure I shall make an atonement for your sin. He said, I got to go up and meet with Yah and try to calm him down because it's about to be some drama. Watch what he said. He says, and Moshe returned unto the Most High and said, oh, this people has sinned a great sin and have made them gods of gold. Yet now, watch what he says, if thou wilt forgive their sins, he said, and if not, blot me, I pray thee, out of thy book which thou hast written.
You probably told me, but I wouldn't listen.
Somebody please put your phone on mute. And the Most High said unto Moshe, whosoever has sinned against me, him will I blot out of my book. You mean their names was in there?
Mm-hmm.
You mean the Most High brought a book with him and their names was already written? No. Of course, no. Surely when he got there, he wrote in 1,000,000+ names in the book. He brought the book with him. And this is proof. He said, and the Most High said unto Moshe, whosoever has sinned against me, him will I blot out of my book. There's a book that the Most High has presented, and he left it on record here that he has one, and that our names are written in it. So that means that if your name was written in it, he knew you was going to be born. That means if your name was written in it, he knew what purpose and what job you was going to perform. And that means if your name was written in it, you weren't an accident. That means that, I can always say, everybody has a part to play. If your name is written in the book, watch. He said, therefore now go, lead the people. Listen to what he said, lead the people unto the place of which I have spoken unto thee. Behold, mine angel shall go before thee. Nevertheless, in the day when I visit, I will visit their sins upon them. And the Most High plagued the people because they made the calf which Aaron made. Any questions? One thing about Yah, he's going to pay you back. He's going to pay you back for what you've done. If you don't repent, he's going to pay you back for what you have done. But the most important part about that is that there's a book that he came with, and their names was already written in it. And if their names is written in it, you can believe your name is already in it. Because he knows those that are his. He chose us from the very beginning. The moment that he spoke the world into existence, he knew how it was going to play out. So when he met up with Abraham, it wasn't by chance. When he told Abraham, your seed is going to be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and they shall afflict them for 400 years, and then I'm going to judge that nation, and afterwards they're going to come out with great substance. He knew you was going to be a part of this today. Any questions? Now, I'm trying to explain to you how powerful Yah is. You know, so that's why when we get people that come on and try to instill fear, we shoot it down. Because we've been on this talk too long. We know too much about the God of Israel for anybody to be able to tell us anything like that. Scared of man? Oh, no. So let's deal with predestination. So my question is, here we go. Now, I want to warn you, some people ain't never heard this. So just be patient. Predestination. Let's see. What does it mean? Predestination is the divine foreordaining or foreknowledge of all that will happen. That means he knows all things, which we know Yah has that. It says the doctrine that all events have been willed by Yah, usually with reference to the eventual state of an individual soul. He knew we was going to be here today. He knew we was going to be here on this line today. He knew we were going to be the ones that was going to end up in Washington, D.C. He knew we was the group that was going to be chosen to cry out. He knew we was the ones that was going to take this purpose. He knew we were the ones he had given this task to because he put it in our heart to be able to do it. We was predestined. Isaiah 43:21. Proof. He said, this people have I formed for myself. They shall show forth my praises. So if that means that he made us for himself, then he knew what we were going to do. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. You with me? Everybody with me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Keep it going.
All right, we're with you. We get warm? He said you get warm.
Yep.
There you go. Regeneration. So let me ask you a question. If we were predestined and he knew that we were going to be here, my question to you, and I don't want none of y'all new people to answer, is have we been here before? Yeah. Somebody said, yeah.
Yeah, yes, we have.
I don't want none of my old people to answer.
Oh,
okay. If we know, have we been here before? I think so. Somebody said, I think so. Because I'm going to mess with the old people today. Have we been here before? Let's see.
I'm not sure I understood the question.
Okay. If you knew we were going to be sitting here,
yeah,
and we were predestined, have we been here before?
I'm not sure the answer.
You mean have we been on Earth before? Or?
Yes, ma'am. Have we been on Earth before? Yes, ma'am. Have we been on the Earth before? Let's keep going. I'm going to show you something. I want to show you something. What is regeneration? The birth of a soul in a new body. It is called the rebirth. Some people say, well, that's what's the other word? What's the stuff that everybody says you come back as somebody else? What's that?
Reincarnation.
Reincarnation. Yeah, reincarnation. We're not talking about that. Watch. Here we go. All right, we're going to the words of Solomon. Here we go. I think this is Ecclesiastes chapter 1. It says, the words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher, vanity of vanities. He said, all is vanity. So Solomon looked around at all this stuff because, Solomon asked for wisdom before he started. He said, give me the wisdom to be able to deal with all these people. And the Most High gave him a wisdom that was beyond understanding. And when Solomon took around, looked at everything, he said, all of this is just mess. And we say it all the time, too, on this talk. We be like, it ain't nothing but some mess. We ready to go, it's just mess. Watch what he says. He said, what profit have a man of all his labor, which he taketh under the sun? So he's sitting there contemplating. Now, this is a rich man, a man that has everything that you could ever imagine. He had more women than he needs. He got more gold, more ivory. He got an army at his disposal. He lives in a palace, and he has access to the God of Israel. He's sitting back saying, what is this really all about? Watch. One generation passes away. He said, and another generation cometh. But the earth abideth forever. He said, no matter what happens, life goes on. Haven't we said that before?
Mm-hmm.
Over
Yep,
and
lots
over
of times.
again. Lots of times. We got people that died, Big Mama died, Grandma died, and you just think it's the end of the world and life ain't going to never be the same. And then you look up and life goes on, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
And watch what he said. He said the sun always arises and the sun goes down and hastens to its place where he arose. And I used to tell him all at the same time, the sun go up and the sun go down. The sun go up and the sun go down. And it's a repetitive process, and it goes on over and over again. Nobody has been able to stop it or slow it down. They can't change the cycle because Yah put it in place. Watch what he said. He said, the wind goeth towards the south and turneth about unto the north. It whirleth about continually, and the wind returneth again according to its circuit. That's what he said. All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. I mean, he said he's looking at life, everything that's going on. Watch what he said. Unto the place from which the river comes, thither they return again. Mm-hmm. All things are full of labor. Man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. The thing that, now this is very important. Here we go. It says, the thing that hath been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. What does that mean?
That means that you ain't new.
Say again?
That means that you're not new.
Oh, you're not new. I thought, brother, you probably watching on.
You been here.
Been there before.
He said there's no new thing under the sun. But guess what? I was born.
Mm-hmm.
I came through my mother.
Mm-hmm.
I started out as a little bitty baby. So I was new.
No, you won't.
Or, say again?
No, you wasn't. That
wasn't.
That particular skin you might be in when you came through that room might have been new, but that soul wasn't.
Oh, so there is no new thing under the sun. Oh, you know, we got the new people quiet. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to inform you of something that you're not new. Somebody say, huh? I told you it's going to be rough. Try to chew it up a little bit at a time and don't choke. But we've been here before.
All I can say is, aha. Moshiach told me that. And I said, no, I'm hearing things. Mm-mm.
Some of us might have been in that wilderness, and we got to go back and do it all over again.
Oh! My. So then if that's the case, then let me ask you this question. Could it be possible that we are the ancestors?
Could be.
Could it be? Could it be we're the Sister Yaina? Could it be we're the ones that rebelled? I mean, I'm just wondering.
Could it be? We were the ones that was punished.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's for sure.
We were the ones that was punished. And like you said, could it be that we got to go back to that wilderness, that same wilderness, and do it all over again?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Get it right.
Well, is that why we pray for not only our transgressions, but that of our fathers and forefathers?
Yes, come on, sis. Come on, now the bell, the light bulb is going on. Mom said there's no new thing under nothing. Wait, let me move on just a little bit here. He said, is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new. There's nothing new.
Then we're actually praying for ourselves.
I'm trying my best. I'm trying not to get excited because, see, we don't really realize what 2019 is doing.
Deep, 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 deep.
We really don't have a clue as to what we're getting ready to do September the 7th. Everybody can't chew this up and swallow this right here because there's nothing new under the brother said. He said, could it mean we got to go back to the wilderness and we got to do it all over again? Because guess what happened to us? We had to be born again.
Yeah.
You got to chew it up slow. I know it's rough. I know it's hard to say.
That is what that means. You have to be born again.
You got to be born again. I know it's rough. You got to chew it up slow. But if there's no new thing under the earth, under the sun, and there's nothing new where you can say, see, this is new. See, he said everything has already been here before.
That's where you get that deja vu.
You know you trying to steal my thunder. You got to stop. You know? And you know the thing about deja vu is it's only glimpses of things. You know why? Watch what it says. It says, it has been already of old time, which was before us. Watch what he says. He said, but there is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. There it is. Oh! Ooh!
How do you remember the thing that is to come unless it had already, you're just replaying it?
That's what he said deja vu is. You just get a glimpse. And have you ever just been somewhere and said, man, a feeling come over you, be like, man, I done seen this before. Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And if he's so strong on you, you have to stop for a minute like, man. Woo. No remembering. I know this is a lot for y'all to take. I know, you know, and you know what? I've talked this many times. This is at least my third time teaching this. And when the light bulb went off, I said, we are getting ready to go back to the same spot and go back before the same Elohim with the same book in the same place to do the same thing. We got to be the same people. Woo! I feel, Lord have mercy. I know y'all quiet. Somebody got anything to say because everybody's sitting there. I know you rubbing your forehead, but it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right.
In essence, he loved us so much until he gave us a second chance.
A second chance.
Guess he didn't want to blot us out of that book.
Yeah, our name is still there.
I never knew how intense his love was until I became a mother. And I know how it is to love some little person that knows how to push your buttons. Yeah. And you see them doing wrong and you're mad, but you love them anyway.
You love them anyway. And he has a love that surpasses all understanding.
This is
and that's so that he can please with you. Say again?
I said so much so that he's going to plead with the rebel at the same time.
Yes, absolutely. You sound real muffled. I don't know who that is, but your voice sounds really muffled. Now, to say it one more time, you said so much that he loves us what now?
I said that he's going to plead with the rebels.
Yes, that he's going to plead with the rebels. Yes, he is. Yes. We got to go back to the same spot. That's why you see the people doing what they're doing. That's why you see the people not interested in the prayer. That's why you see the people doing what they're doing. Because it's only going to be a select few that's going to understand really what this means. Everybody else is partying and they having a good time and they jigabooing and the 400 years is over, yay, hallelujah! And they having parties and they having concerts and they having this and they having that. But guess what? The people who know what it means are going to be there. Doesn't mean that they still not Israel. It doesn't mean that he still don't love them. But as a group that knows the significance of it, a couple of groups that knows the significance of it, and we there. Because like you said, we got to stand in the gap for everybody else. We're doing what Moshe did when he went on top of Mount Sinai. Got to pray for him. You got to do it. They just looking for the good time. Everybody's looking to be rich. Everybody, they don't understand. You're getting ready to go before the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You're getting ready to go before the creator of the Elohim of the universe. How powerful this is. That's why I don't let nobody come on this call talking no scary stuff. Go on. Go find somewhere else to be. Because we're going to do this the way y'all said we're supposed to do this. And if you don't understand it, then just be quiet. Because you would be better off not talking at all than to try to instill fear in Israel, because the Most High don't like that either. He don't. That's like the two spies that came back from spying out the land of Canaan. When they came back, them people is huge. Them people is eating up there. The Most High was very upset with them. We don't instill fear. Because we have a job to do. So you're not new. There's nothing about you that's new. Even though you came in as a new baby and you had that new baby smell and you was in the nursery with the other babies hollering and screaming, we've all done this cycle and made this cycle before. Any questions? Any comments? Are you guys still there?
Yeah.
You know, it's like me and my big mouth. I prayed to the Most High Yah. I said, you know, I'm over milk. Give me some meat. And he threw me a steak, and I'm trying to choose.
Ooh, Lord have mercy. He said, is there anything that we can say? See, this is new.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi. I've been listening, for, I guess, over a year, but never really, called in or anything. Mm-hmm. But my question is, are we born again because Adam and Eve sinned? Because originally they were supposed to live forever, and we were supposed to live forever, but being that they sinned, we have to be born again?
We are born again because that's the process that he put in place.
Okay.
And yes, because Adam and Eve sinned, yes. Well, that goes into, I tell you what, that goes into that whole 1/3 teaching that we have on the internet. I don't know if you've ever heard it or not, but that 1/3 teaching is because the Most High has to see. I'm on my way there, but what's happening is the house of Israel has to be redeemed. And the house of Israel is a royal house, and it has to be redeemed. And there's only a certain amount of people or beings in the house of Israel. Sister Sanaya, you want to tell her how many people are in the house of Israel? Is she there? She may.
140,000.
After all of this is over, Sister Sanaya, how many people will be saved?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm back. The 1/3.
The 1/3. That's it.
Oh, that's right.
So after all this is over, it's only going to be 1/3 out of all the people that are going to make it. And that's what this whole story is about, is redeeming the 1/3 from among the midst of Israel. Because 2/3 is going to be cut off. And that's where I'm headed, because I have to be able to lay the groundwork for you to be able to understand regeneration first. And then once I get there, then once we get to understanding what the house of Israel really means, 2/3 is going to be cut off. And we're talking about from Israel, not the world.
So 2/3 won't even be seeking repentance?
No, well, I mean, no, because no, they won't. He's only redeeming 1/3. Only 1/3. Only 1/3. And it's unfortunate, but only 1/3. And when nobody knows who that 1/3 is, guess why? Because their name is written in the book. Nobody knows.
Is the 144,000 separate from the 1/3?
No, I don't believe they are. The 144,000 are 12,000 men, virgins from each tribe. Those are the ones that are going to come and fight. And I know that we've been in religions where the religions have taught us that we got to be a part of the. I'll throw all that out your mind. All of that came from the Gentiles. The Bible clearly tells you who the 144,000 is. All right, here we go.
The 1/3 is the hidden ones.
I can't understand whoever you are. Your phone sounds really muffled. I don't know who that is.
Is the 1/3 the hidden ones?
No, the 1/3 is Israel. The 1/3 is Israel. It's just the house of Israel. They're not hidden. I mean, because if that's the case, we are hidden because they don't know who we are. We didn't know who we were, and they don't know who we are, but we're not hidden because he's going to choose. He's going to pick out those people that belong to the house of Israel, and those are going to be the ones that make it, and that's it. The rest of them will be cut off. So let's go again. Here we go. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 1. This is verse 2. It says, "Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher. Vanity of vanity. All is vanity." We're going to go through it again. I just want to be able to cover it real good. Here we go. "What profit have a man of all his labor which he taketh under the sun?" What good is it? He said, "One generation passes away and another one cometh, but the earth abides forever. The sun also arises and the sun goeth down and hastens to its place where he arose. Here we go. "The wind bloweth toward the south and turneth about unto the north. It whirleth about continually, and the wind returneth again according to its circuit. All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. Unto the place from whence the rivers come, thither they return again. All things are full of labor. Man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. Here we go. Verse number 9. The thing that hath been, now listen to what it says. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Watch. Is there anything whereof ye may say, see, this is new? It has been already of old times, which was before us. So remember, he said, is there anything, I want you to remember this scripture now. He said, is there anything whereof you can say, see, this is new? It has been already of old times, which was before us. So it's some people that had been here of old time before us, before we came on the scene. Watch what it says. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. So it's a repetitive cycle of the same people over and 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 over again. Any questions?
Well, I was just wondering, just how many people were there out there in the wilderness?
I wish you know what? It was 1 million plus. But you got to realize we got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And the thing that we did was we multiplied. And that's one of the reasons why the nations got afraid of us, because we multiplied more than them. And then you got to think about it. Certain of the people died. Remember, they wandered around the wilderness for how long?
40 years.
How long? 40 years. And then you had a new generation come up. I take into consideration all those people.
I was thinking of something. You know, reincarnation is the devil's counterfeit for this, because in reincarnation, say you come back as somebody else. But this one thing, we don't come back as somebody else. We've been here before. There is a real significant difference. And when we talk about how it is that a counterfeit is put out, it's close to the truth, but it's far enough off that it will take you away from the truth if you follow it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. People talking about, I'm going to come back as a cat. I'm going to come back as a dog. No. Mm-mm. Watch what he says. I'm going to prove this. Watch. All right, here we go. Ecclesiastes chapter 12. Watch what he says. He said, I, the preacher, was king over Israel in Jerusalem. Oh, no, I'm sorry. And I gave, verse 13, and I gave my heart to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all things that were done under heaven. This sore travail has thou given to the sons of man to be exercised therewith. It says, I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. That which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is wanting cannot be numbered. I commune with my own heart, saying, Lo, I am come to great estate, and have gotten more wisdom than all. They that have been before me in Jerusalem, yea, my heart had great experience of wisdom and knowledge. And I gave my heart to know wisdom, and to know madness and folly. I perceive that this also is vexation of spirit. For in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increases in knowledge increases in sorrow. Anybody? Woo! Lord have mercy. He said, I learned some things that I just didn't really want to know the truth on. And once like we did right now, once we came into the truth, we look at this stuff now and say, all of this stuff is just mad. This is mad. Everybody on this line has said the same thing. I will be glad when this mess is over. Then we ask the question, what would you rather have? Would you rather know or not know? And everybody say, I'd rather know, even though it makes me sorrowful and I'm grieving in my spirit. I would much rather know. Solomon was going through that very same thing. He was stressed out on some things. He said, I have it all. I've asked for it and I got it. But boy, what I got a whole lot of what I didn't even understand. And now that I understand it, it's too much for me to even take in. It's too much. Because it's all mess. He said, all of this is mess. Any question? We got a lot of people on this line. Yeah. I mean a whole lot of people. I know you guys' phones is muted. It's because you called in late. We can't stop the teaching and unmute your call. We will do this once we conclude the message. We will open up the mics and you'll be able to ask questions. But this is something that we don't do. We don't stop the lessons to unmute the mics because we try to give everybody at least a half an hour. And we gave everybody almost an hour today to call in. So I just wanted to be able to let you know that if your phones are unmuted, you cannot unmute them unless we do, but we will. Any questions? Sister Tanaya, you were saying something?
I know. I was just agreeing, with what I heard. Everything that I've heard and I've heard before, yes.
Yes, hallelujah. Oh, bless his name. All right, now we getting ready to find out. We getting ready to confirm what this thing is. Here we go. All right, we're going to reiterate. It says, what is the thing? Ecclesiastes chapter 1, 9 through 11. So we're going to go through it again. Here we go. It says, chapter 9, it says, the thing that hath been, it is that which shall be. So that means that the cycle continues. And that which is done. The Most High has given Solomon insight on how this process of rebirth continues. And see, that's what Nicodemus did when he went to sit down with the Messiah. He said, I don't understand this born again stuff. What can happen? Does a man enter into his mother's womb a second time? Watch what he says. He says, is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? So that means nothing is new. Everything has been. And we look at our children and they look at us and they be like, you so old-fashioned, and you just laugh at them. You say, baby, it ain't nothing new under the sun. Everything you doing, I done did. I just did it in my time, in my generation. But it's all still, there's nothing you can come up with on this earth that you can say this is new. It's just new to you. Watch. He said, it has been already of old time, which was before us. Watch. He said, there is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. A recycle. A constant recycle. It's a recycle all the time. Watch. Now we're going to go to Ecclesiastes chapter 6, and it's going to explain what that thing is. He said, that which has been is named already, and it is known that it is man. So the Most High let King Solomon in on the cycle of how man continually repeats itself. It repeats itself, and it repeats itself, and it repeats itself, and it happens over and 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 over again. Somebody said, Been sitting here the whole time in the book, and we didn't even realize it. So it just didn't happen. Your mother didn't just meet your father and you was born. It wasn't by happenstance. It wasn't I just met her and we fell in love. No. Somebody said, well, you was a mistake. You wasn't supposed to be here. No. The Most High don't make mistakes. No. It was all purpose, and you was ordained to be here. Any questions? No questions at all. It says, neither may he contend with him that is mightier than he. It says, seeing there be many things that increase vanity. What is man the better? For who knoweth what is good for man in this life all the days of his vain life, which he spendeth as a shadow? For who can tell a man what shall be after him under the sun? Any questions at all whatsoever?
Does this only pertain to Hebrews, Israelites, or does it pertain, do you think, to everybody? Everybody.
Ain't nobody new. There's nothing new under the sun. So what does it mean when it say nothing? Nothing means nothing. There is nothing new under the sun. And you can look back on some of these hieroglyphics, and you can see pictures of helicopters and pictures of planes and all kinds of stuff they have drew into rocks. And people be like, it looks like they had helicopters back then, and it looks like they had some sort of flying vehicles back then. There's nothing new under the sun. Nothing. It's just time for our generation to evolve to the point where we have increased technology, where we basically caught up with the past. And the past is not catching up with us. We have caught up with the past because there's nothing new under it. I know this is heavy for a lot of people to swallow. To be able to understand how the Most High do this, but when this
she'll be back.
That's funny. Hello? Oh,
every time.
Oh, this time she got cut off.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Here she is.
I'm sorry, they cut me off from that. Can you imagine? Is it hard for you guys to accept this? Is it hard for you to chew this? I mean, when you sit back and you realize this, you're like, wow. Nothing new. There's nothing new.
When you try to explain that or say that to others, they think you're crazy.
Say again.
I'm really excited because I think this means that all of those people have gone before. They will be back as well.
Oh, watch it now. Watch it, girl.
Yeah.
You know you got to stop. Don't teach that. You got to stop because I got to explain. Oh, I got to explain that. I got to explain that to see what we got to understand. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yes.
It's the cycle that has to repeat itself. and it repeats itself over and over and over. So you were destined to meet who you were supposed to meet, and you was going to have a child by who you were supposed to have a child by, because the Most High had written them into the book, and they had to come back in so that we could repeat what our ancestors, what we did in Mount Sinai over and over. Oh, my goodness. Listen, so all those people, and I'm going to put this on the record, all those people in the church that died waiting to be raptured and died waiting for the Holy Ghost to raise them up, and they was Israel and didn't know they was Israel, guess what they got to do? Yep. They got to come back. Yep. They got to come back. They got to come back. Because they have to know who they are as Israel, because the Most High is a righteous judge, and he's not going to judge the people off of something that they didn't know. They're going to know who they are. We get into that, though. They got to come back.
Even those that were told who they are, and they just rejected it and played it off.
I don't think they get to. I don't know, Sister Maya. I don't want to say yay or nay. I don't know. But I don't think so. I think that if you were told and you were given an opportunity to live, and you knew you were Israel, and you just disobeyed, I think that's it. You will sleep until the white throne of judgment. Because that would mean that they refused his laws. Absolutely. Purposely. Because there's only going to be 1/3 out of this particular event that's going on. I don't know, out of 1/3 of how many, I can't tell you that. I don't know the number. Because we're coming from all over the world. We're scattered to the four corners of the world. So I don't know that. I can't say that. I can't tell you that. I don't know the answer to that. But it happens over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's like Brother Donnie always say, he doesn't have to go back and say, I need to do that over. Oh, I made a mistake. I gotta start something new. There's no new thing under the sun. And that's why we experience deja vu. Because the brain is a computer. It wants to remember. It's just fragments. And even though you have that feeling like I had done this before, you can't remember it. I've been here before. I've had the same conversation with you before. But that's as far as it goes. It leaves you at that moment. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Mm-hmm. It's powerful. I mean, and it's been right here the whole time. He left it right in the book the whole time. He said it keeps recycling itself, and that thing which has been is man. Man continually, repetitiously repeats itself. Repeats itself over and over again. Over and over and over and over again. Y'all done got quiet. I know when you get quiet, you are processing all this information. And it's a lot. It's a lot to process. Some people that hung up, they said, look, I just can't. They said, I can't handle all this. Hold on a minute. Because I just really thought it was a certain way. But no, it is not. No. That's what Solomon was. He was perplexed. Yes, ma'am.
Hi. This is really heavy information. I'm calling from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Yes, ma'am.
And I have a comment and a question. Maybe two questions. My comment is that when I was a child, I'm talking probably about 7, 8, 9, around there, I had very frequent experiences with deja vu, but I did not know what it was. And it went away as I got older, and I still have it every now and then, but not too often. I had it a lot when I was a child. And so when I became a Christian, this is like over 20 years ago, I thought that it was something like maybe kind of evil, so I suppressed it, and I didn't talk about it a lot unless somebody else brought it up. And then I had spoke with my mother, and she told me that she used to have dreams of working in, she said I was in a place that looked like a castle. She told me that she saw colors that like did not exist as we know it. And she said that she felt like she worked in the castle as a servant. So I just kind of kept all of these things in my mind, and I just kind of tucked them away. But I have never heard anything like what you were talking about now. But I'm intrigued and I'm fascinated. I was also a very not so much now, but I used to look a lot into sci-fi movies and movies that talked about time travel and things like that, because there was something in me that just kind of wanted to know more. Is this real? And so that's my comment. So I wanted to know, do you have any more information about the experience of deja vu? Is it something spiritual? Is it something from the Most High?
I think it is. I think that it is definitely from Him. I think that it is the mind. So you have to. Let me. I'm gonna mess with you just a little bit, and in love, I want to say this. We have to understand one thing about the mind, and it's a computer. It is. It's a digital computer, and it's a supersonic computer, and it has the ability, and it fires on millions of cylinders. If you really get into the mind, it has nerves and endings, and it's millions of them out there. They're firing, and they're sending information, and it's sending information to the spinal cord, and it's just sending. It's a computer. It's a supersonic, digital, all-powerful computer that's made out of mud. It's made out of mud. He said, from dust thou art, and from dust thou shalt return. It's powerful. So it is something that Yah has put in us that has the ability to do some amazing things. So as you begin to understand these things, you understand that it is the mind that is trying to do something that is not allowed. And it wants to remember. It says, I've done this before. You don't get a different mind. You get the same mind. It's like the hard drive has been wiped clean. And somebody clicks in there and says, start over. But if you know anything about a computer, the hard drives can never be wiped clean.
Because I would like to share this, Sister.
Hold on, sis. Hold on. Hold on.
Push your button.
Oh, I'm not pushing buttons. I know I am. And it's fragments of information that is in the mind somewhere that's firing on cylinders that when you have these experiences, you say, wait a minute, I've done this before. But in actuality, the Most High has wiped the hard drive clean. Yes, sis, go ahead.
It was just quick. My granddaughter, who was 6 years old, right? She had actually, we were just busy walking, cleaning up the apartment, blah, blah, blah. And she asked me, she said, Grandma, what am I doing here? And it meant literally not why am I over in your house, but it was, what am I doing here? I looked at her, I did. I said, wow. I said, that's a good question. You know, but my whole day after that, I just stuck on my head. So when you were talking about that, I was like, it brought me right back to that situation. It was like she was remembering something. She knew something. So I started looking at her like, well, what's going on over there? You know, it was like she had been here, but like, okay, I just showed up. You know, what's going on?
Right. Powerful. It's a power. You know what? When the Most High allow me to, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do a class on that on the body, because boy, I'm telling you, when He created this thing, it is when the Scripture said we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Oh my goodness gracious alive! Woo! I mean, you just get to looking like. So that's why it's not of the enemy. No, absolutely it's not. It's the brain trying to force something that the Most High won't allow it to happen. And that's why we tell all of Israel to steer clear from those people who are traveling within their mind. They're sitting down and they're humming, and they're meditating, and they're traveling and opening up that pineal gland, trying to go places that the Most High hasn't designated for us to go yet. And mind you, I said yet, because as we complete this curve, oh, watch it now. It's going to be some amazing things that's going to begin to happen to those that are obedient, that keep His law, statutes, and His commandments. Some amazing things. We did some amazing things when we were a nation in Israel in the beginning, to the point where the other nations were afraid of us. They were afraid of us. They said, well, no, we heard about y'all. We do not want to deal with them Israelites. Wherever y'all do send them, don't let them come over here. Some amazing things. And guess what? Sometimes I operate in certain ways where I have a brother-in-law, and he used to tell me and my sister all the time, y'all ain't from here. It's just something strange about y'all two, because you just ain't from here. I was like, I was born just like you was. You know, he just be smiling. He said, yeah, but it's something different about y'all. Y'all just, he said, you and your sister ain't from here. Well, guess what? They're going to say the same thing about us when we get ready to start operating after the curse. And some of us still have the ability to do some strange things. We've seen some strange things. We've been exposed to some strange things. You know, and it's our brain firing on those cylinders, trying to understand something that is not time to understand yet. My mind is constantly working. I told you I was driving down the street the other day, and I just began to think about. I looked at the bridges. I saw the steel bridges. I saw the train going over the bridge. I saw the traffic lights. I saw the lights that are outside. I saw the wiring that was hanging from one pole to the next. I just started watching my environment. I saw the sidewalks. I looked up and I seen the buildings. I saw the glass windows. I saw the cars passing by. And then it's just something just dropped into my spirit and said, all of this came from dirt, from a plant. And I had to pull over for a minute, like, how in the world? And you know, you just don't really think about the fact that this earth, nobody dropped a building down out of nowhere and it was just there. Glass came from somewhere. Steel came from somewhere. It came from a mineral or something that is on the earth already. Nothing was already pre-made. Yes. Yes. It's amazing. I had to pull over just to process that, like, wow, rubber, the tires that we're rolling on. You know? And I'm like, how did they even think to do all this stuff? That man has created a vibrant, moving, machine, a society that's constantly moving. And this is too heavy for a lot of people because they say, "Wait a minute, I'm still with the Hebrew boys in the fire. I'm still stuck on that." I can't get past that. You've been here before. There's no new thing under the heaven, on this earth, under the sun. There's no new thing under the sun. There's nobody on this line that is brand new that has never been here already. You just don't remember. Everybody just got quiet on me. Hello, everybody okay? Do we need to take a break or a breather?
Yeah.
Counting the days, hey.
It's a lot, isn't it? It's a lot to really begin to process and a lot to take in.
Well, Sister I think you did a magnificent job. You just got to take it a little slower and go back through it next year.
and it's like the brother said, he said, it looks like we got to go back to Mount Sinai and do this all over again. That we were the ancestors.
And maybe we were the ones saying we want to go back to Egypt.
We were the ancestors. That's why, well, he sent us back, didn't he?
He sent us back.
Egypt right now?
He sent us back.
He sent us back, didn't he? He said, "You going back to Egypt again." He said, "But this time it's going to be in ships."
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're 10 days away from the finalization of that prophecy that was spoken 5,000 years ago.
Let's get it right this time so we don't have to do it no more.
Ain't going to be no other times. We got to get it right this time. And those names that were written in the book will be those ones that will make it this time. Because it's only going to be 1/3 when it's all said and done. 1/3. It's only going to be 1/3 when it's said and done. It's a powerful, we serve a powerful Elohim.
Yeah.
And I want to go deeper, but I can't right now. Like Brother Doniel said, I'm going to have to take you slow. So we're going to do part 2 of this next week so that you can understand not only are we going back, but the ancestors are coming back to go with us.
Now, why do you suppose they're coming back?
Next week. I'll have it for you next week.
Make me wait.
I don't want you to choke. I want you to really think about this. I mean, because this is a lot to really think about. Regeneration is something that only Israel can teach because the Most High gave it to Solomon to be able to give it to us. He gave that wisdom to Solomon so that Solomon would know and he would let us know. And in the world name, the firing on the cylinders of the brain, Deja vu. He said, I've done this before. I've been here before. I've met you before.